Coach Uremovich joining us here before Ball State takes on Purdue. It's the season opener at West Lafayette. Coach, appreciate your time. And what's this week been like so far to get ready for Game 1?
It's been good. You know, it's a little different. We were just talking. Game 1's a little different than a normal game week because you have the summer preparation, you have the extra practices leading to training camp. So you can approach things a little slower and spend more time on first and second down, spend more time on third down. So, you know, it's exciting to get ready to go play, but it is a little different than normal game week.
From a 30,000-foot view, from the start of camp to today, how would you say that this group grew the most?
I think we grew just in terms of it's still our first year, so just learning how to practice and learning the tempos we practice at. And I think they've done a great job with it. It's night and day since spring ball of just the consistency of effort that you have to have in practice.
Coach Knowles, since the start of camp to today, how would you say that this defense has grown the most?
Well, I'd say that, you know, just coming together assignment-wise, right off the bat, the energy and effort was always great, even since last spring, and the guys have done whatever we've asked them to do. So that part's been great. You know, but we had some work to do. We had some new guys who got with us in the summertime. So just getting them ready and getting to the point where it's kind of second nature for them to make the adjustments, make the calls, and communicate. So once that communication gets done, it usually frees everybody up to play fast.
How about from an offensive standpoint, the last couple of weeks specifically, how have you seen that unit develop?
The nice thing, you know, we rep a lot of guys in camp, and then once you get to the point where these are the ones and twos, you start to build some timing and things like that because it's the same 11 guys out there. So that's been good to watch, and it should be that way because the ones are getting 6 reps, the twos are getting 4 out of every 10, and they're getting more plays than they do in training camp.
You mentioned the influx of new talent on the defensive side. How have they been able to establish themselves to be difference makers?
Well, the first thing is obviously just learning it to where you can see the guys play fast. Most of them, you know, you recruit players that are good athletes, right? And when you get to see it is when they know what they're doing and they can react and show what they can do and play fast. So that's what usually takes a while is them understanding what you're asking them to do enough to where they can be free and play fast.
What do you think has stood out the most to you about the offense?
Just going into the first game is just knowing our assignments. I mean, that's the thing that I was concerned about coming out of spring ball because we do a lot, and we just had a real good practice today, 1 or 2 busts, which you're still going to have. But, you know, if we can go the right way and know who we're blocking and who we're picking up in protection, then they can go play.
You and Coach Knowles have known each other since grade school. How has that been to be able to work with him at the FBS Division I level as a head coach now?
It's about the same as when we did it at Temple and Northern and NC State and Butler and St. Francis. It's all the same. He's in charge of the defense. I don't really go in there much at all. I got to run the offense. So it is nice to have someone on the defensive side of the ball that I completely trust and can just, you got it, man, and we'll focus on the offense and Coach Fee will handle the special teams.
You've known Coach U since grade school. How would you describe what that dynamic is like now to work together here at the FBS level?
You know, we've been around each other for so long. It just seems, you know, normal kind of. So, you know, playing football season from 6th grade on, pretty much with Coach U. You know, that's just kind of expected. The few seasons where I spent somewhere else or in another profession, those were the weird seasons where it felt different. So this is actually pretty, you know, secondhand.
What was that like when he called you and said, hey, I got the job?
I mean, that was awesome because, first off, just happy for him and his family. I know he's wanted it for so long to get back to being a head coach and just being excited for him. And then, you know, when I got to know that, you know, we're staying, going to be together with the families again, and you know, it's something we've talked about forever, having an opportunity like this to be able to work together and really build something. So definitely fired up for that.
What have you learned most from Coach Knowles?
Well, things that I could say in this interview that I've learned from him because I've known him forever is that his detail and the way he prepares the defense is awesome. And I've worked with a lot of good defensive coaches, but I really feel like he's the best one that I've ever worked with in terms of the detail in which they coach the schemes, the detail in which they fit the runs, the detail in which they practice, how they draw the scout cards, all of the little things that go into preparing the defense is probably what I got the most from him.
Defensive line was a huge conversation from media day all the way to now. It's a group that's got the depth, it's got the talent. How did you see that room grow throughout camp and get ready for Purdue?
Coach Sawicki's done a great job. I mean, he coaches the heck out of them. just seeing how together they are for all the competition in there. Sometimes you wonder, is there going to be some bitterness or some chippiness between them because they're fighting and scratching for reps, but those guys have come together so well and really pulling for each other and caring about each other. And I just know right now when those guys, they're going to play hard, they're going to play together.
Purdue has 80 new players, new coaching staff. What are you doing to try and make sure that you're ready for week 1 from their standpoint?
We've watched all their guys. There's this program, PFF. Hopefully I get a little kickback for mentioning them. But they have a system that has every play of college football the last 5 years. So you don't see them in Purdue schemes, but you see them play. So we've been able to watch every player that they've brought in. We've been able to see what we think they can and cannot do. Now, how they use them is different, but we'll be able to know, we do know what their guys were really good at and maybe some things they weren't that good at. But outside of that, it's the first game of the year, so you kind of got to feel them out and get through the first quarter and see what they're doing.